From high-end bars to world-class mixologists that made their vestige in history, these bartenders have made exceptional accomplishments and commendable twists and turns in their careers. Today, we'll take a look at some of these great minds who have achieved brilliance in the profession through creativity and sheer hard work. Ada Coley Coleman. While you do not frequently hear about the role women played in the history of cocktails until recent years, of course this list of bartenders wouldn't be complete without the amazing Ada Coleman. Coleman, the daughter of a steward at Rupert Doyleycart's Golf Club, was born in 1875. When her father died when she was 24, Doyley gave her a position at one of his hotels, first in the flower shop, then in the Claridge's Hotel Bar. She actually first started working at London's Claridge's Hotel in the year 1899, but soon moved on to the Savoy Hotel American Bar, where she became famous as Coley. She ultimately became head bartender at the Savoy Hotel and invented the now famous hanky-panky cocktail for Sir Charles Hawtrey. She also helped train her successor, Harry Craddock, who would include many of Coleman's recipes in his Savoy cocktail book. According to research released in 1905, little less than half of the bartenders in London were women around the time Coleman started working as a bartender. Barmaids were mainly the daughters of businessmen or mechanics, or, on rare occasions, young ladies from the better-born classes who had been thrown upon their own resources and required money. Despite the long hours, many women considered the profession to be less tedious and perhaps more lucrative than alternative options. There were campaigns at the time to ban women from working as bartenders based on the belief that the job was physically and morally detrimental to individuals and society. Ernest Gantt, otherwise known as Donn Beach. Yup, there is no doubt that tiki drinks are back. We are not talking about the freezing neon-colored concoctions that cause toothache. Donn Beach instead carefully constructed classic faux Polynesian cocktails that created a sensation in the 1940s and 50s. Perhaps the father of the tiki movement was Ernest Gantt, better known as Donn Beach of Donn the Beachcomber Bar. He opened a shop in LA after the repeal of Prohibition. It did not take long for his style of bartending to catch on. He inspired dozens of impersonators. He began working at boarding houses with his mother when he was 16, according to his own story in an interview. He claims to have left home 4 years later and gone around the world. He returned to Texas in 1929 and worked as a supercargo employee for the captain of a yacht sailing from Hawaii to Sydney, Australia. He subsequently spent at least another year in the South Pacific, island hopping on freighters. Many dates are difficult to connect because the interview was given only 3 years before his death. Some claim that his genuinely residing in the South Pacific is very probably not true because of his reputation as a fabulous spinner of false tales. Others, including Edward Brownlee and Arnold Bittner, back up some of his claims. Victor Trader Vic Bergeron. While Donn Beach may have invented tiki cocktails, Trader Vic made these amazing drinks a national obsession. Bergeron attended San Francisco's Heald College. He started Hinky Dinks, a modest bar and restaurant across from his parents' grocery business at San Pablo Avenue and 65th Street in Oakland's Golden Gate District on November 17, 1934, with $500 borrowed. As the restaurant's popularity grew, the cuisine and atmosphere took on a more tropical feel, and Hinky Dinks was renamed Trader Vic's. At his original tropical bar in Oakland in California, which led to an international chain, Victor Bergeron served all kinds of oozing concoctions, from his signature painkiller to Mai Tai. So, what really is his secret? Well, he only used the best ingredients. Writing in 1948, "For the life of me, I cannot see why any bar uses anything but pure fresh lemon or orange juice." Bergeron was persuaded to create his first franchise location in the Benjamin Franklin Hotel in Seattle in 1949 by Western Hotel's President Edward Carlson. Originally a small bar called the Outrigger, it was developed into a complete restaurant in 1954 and renamed Trader Vic's in 1960. Bergeron collaborated with Western Hotels to open Trader Vic's restaurants in a number of their hotels as a result of the restaurant's success. Harry Craddock. Another great bartender from history is Harry Craddock. He was born in Stroud, Gloucestershire, and moved to the United States in 1897, working at Cleveland's Holland Inn Hotel and New York's Knickerbocker Hotel and Hoffman House before becoming a U.S. citizen. During Prohibition, he sailed to Liverpool with his wife and daughter before joining the American bar at the Savoy Hotel in London in 1920. He eventually became the head bartender at the hotel's world-renowned American bar. Harry Craddock created 750 classic cocktails, such as the White Lady, Corpse Reviver No. 2, and the Dry Martini. He also wrote one of the most iconic bartending books of all time, the Savoy Cocktail Book, published in 1930 and still used by bartenders today. Joe Gilmore. This Belfast bartender worked at American Bar for 21 years and was one of the longest serving. Joe began his career as a trainee bartender, earning £3 a week as an apprentice to Harry Craddock, and worked his way up to head bartender, eventually taking over the bar in 1954, an event that made national headlines. Gilmore was a celebrity bartender, with regulars like Churchill, for whom he crafted his own unique cocktail in exchange for one of Churchill's renowned cigars. Charles de Gaulle, Ernest Hemingway, and Frank Sinatra, who used to stop by for a cheeky dry martini before his London gigs, were among the renowned faces Gilmore served. Gilmore's mixing skills were in high demand, and he was frequently flown to a Caribbean island to prepare cocktails for Princess Margaret. The bartender is also known for his moonwalk cocktail, which was the first drink Neil Armstrong and his fellow astronauts sipped after their historic lunar landing. Then there's Gilmore's other world-famous hangover remedy, the Corpse Reviver cocktail. We are now halfway through this video, and before we reveal the rest, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and smash that notification bell to be updated every time we upload new videos. Dale de Groff. All drinkers should try a cocktail from Dale de Groff, a member of the Liquor.com advisory board, at least once in their lives, known as the King Cocktail for a reason. De Groff has helped reinvent modern bartending by instructing many of the world's greatest bartenders, writing 2 superb bar books, and earning numerous honors, including the 2008 Tales of the Cocktail Helen David Lifetime Achievement Award and a 2009 James Beard Award. His enthusiasm for old recipes and fresh ingredients is unquestionably where the cocktail frenzy of today began. He was named one of the world's greatest cocktail experts by the New York Times in 2015, and his book, The Craft of the Cocktail, is considered an important bartending reference. De Groff rose to popularity as the original chief bartender in New York City's Rainbow Room, where his then unusual emphasis on classic cocktail recipes and high-quality ingredients earned him widespread acclaim and emulation by many other establishments in the city and abroad. Constante Ribalaigua Vert. We rarely find a bartender who doesn't drink, but that was the case with Constante Vert, the owner of the famous Cuban bar El Floridita. Constante Vert was born in 1888, outside of Barcelona. His family moved to Havana in 1900s, where his father worked as a bartender at the legendary diner Pina de Plata. He was one of the finest mixologists of the mid-20th century, serving everyone from Ernest Hemingway and Spencer Tracy to everyday tourists. Dedicated to his patrons, he was an incredibly skilled bartender who invented dozens of original concoctions, and fortunately, he left very detailed instructions on how to make some of his best recipes. Vert's only hobby is working. He wasn't joking when he said that. He didn't even binge drink. Apart from inventing a new cocktail almost every day, he made sure that his customers received the greatest drinks and service possible. William Schmidt. William Schmidt wouldn't look out of place in a modern-day specialty cocktail bar with his spectacular mustache and 10-ingredient concoctions. However, in the late 1800s, the German immigrant worked in a rundown New York bar. William Schmidt was one of the earliest celebrity bartenders, appearing in the New York newspapers on a daily basis at a period when Prohibition seeds were already emerging. When he published his first book, The Flowing Bowl, complete with erudite sources in English, German, and Latin to rave reviews, he had been tending bar for 30 years. He was born into a family with money that vanished, and he began working as a bartender while still a child. He was a solemn-looking man with a world-class mustache and a sense of publicity and theater. In 1873, he led a team of bartenders to open Chicago's Tivoli Gardens, throwing streams of flaming beverages behind the bar with the flair of Jerry Thomas, his contemporaries. Later, when his bar was less crowded, he enjoyed nothing more than constructing glass pyramids and decorating them with fruits and flowers. William Cocktail Bill Boothby. Another William on our list. We might be in the midst of the modern golden age of cocktails, but the original so-called golden age of mixology arose between the Civil War and Prohibition. One of the stars was Cocktail Bill Boothby. For many years, he worked as a bartender at the Palace Hotel in San Francisco and strove to be one of the best West Coast bartenders of the day. From 1895 to 1897, he was a member of the California State Assembly for the 43rd District. Boothby's contribution to the development of the cocktail is substantial. He had published several editions of his book, World's Drinks and How to Mix Them, which, in a rare move for the time, attributed a lot of recipes to local bartenders, saving them from obscurity. Jerry Thomas. One of the most famous bartenders of all time is undoubtedly Jerry Thomas. He is often referred to as the father of American bartending and was one of the first bartenders to ever publish a book on the subject. Thomas was born in Sackett's Harbor, New York in 1830. He worked as a bartender, gold prospector, and minstrel show manager in California during the mid-19th century gold rush, according to his 1885 obituary in the New York Times. His book, How to Mix Drinks or The Bon Vivant's Companion, was published in 1862 and is still used by bartenders all over the world today. Jerry Thomas was also responsible for popularizing many now standard bartending techniques, such as using a shaker to mix drinks and garnishing them with fruit and herbs. In addition, while preparing drinks, Thomas demonstrated creativity and showmanship, establishing the image of the bartender as a creative expert. As a result, he was dubbed Professor Jerry Thomas. So, these are just some of the great bartenders from history who have left their mark on the profession. They have all made significant contributions to the world of bartending, and their legacy continues to live on through those who follow in their footsteps. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts. Of course, you don't want to miss our excellent and exciting videos. So, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified about our latest video. That's it for today. Until next time.